unseasonably warm November afternoon in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The temperature is in the 60s as the Eagles host the Cincinnati Bengals. A crowd of 70,000 expected at Veterans Stadium. Hello, everyone. I'm Dick Enberg, and welcome back to National Football League action. Unfortunately, today we'll not be talking about Jack Donelon and Ed Garvey. The principals will be Ron Jaworski and Wilbert Montgomery. For Philadelphia, 89 Henry, 37 Campfield. And we're underway. Henry at the goal line. 15, 20, 30, and out to the 33. So the crowd applauds. A fine return by little Wally Henry. He was tackled by Tom Dinkel. The Eagles take the field first. Ron Jaworski is the quarterback. Running backs, the outstanding Wilbert Montgomery, number 31, and 35, Perry Harrington. The receivers, leading active receiver in the game, Carmichael with Ron Smith, former Charger, former Ram. Tight end Spagnuolo, Walters, Kenny, Morris, Baker, and Sizemore, the blockers up front. First down from the Eagle 33. Long count by Jaworski. Play action. Smith unable to handle it at the 45-yard line. Kenny Edwards, Wilson Whitley, and Ross Browner, the defensive line. A little technical difficulty with Merlin's microphone. We'll work on that. Bo Harris, Jim LeClaire, Glenn Cameron, and Reggie Williams are the linebackers. Breeden and Riley at the corners. Kemp and Hicks, who did such an outstanding job at safety last year for the vastly improved Bengals, in the deep spots defensively. 2nd and 10. Jaworski knocked down by 75. The nose tackle Wilson Whitley, and there's the first unanimous boo of the return season.
Well, I was out at the Eagle practice yesterday, and Sid Gilman was talking to Jaworski. He said, make sure you complete that first pass. He said that'll be for the fans. Well, Ronnie missed the first one, and now he's missed the second one. He's going to try and make that third one good. You can better believe that.
Jaworski, in the first 2 games of this season, this wounded year, was the #1 quarterback in the National Football League. There are his career totals. He's the top passer. Ken Anderson, number 2 this year, and out of the shotgun for the first time, 3rd and 10. Complete and then dropped. Ron Smith had the ball, and a first down, could not hang on. Ken Riley, the veteran at the corner, the Rattler from Florida A&M, made the defensive play.
Both these coaches approached this game in the same way. Both felt that if they just approached it as if there had been no break, that would be the best way to handle it. They both have put in complicated offensive and defensive plans for this game. They may have to back off a little bit if that becomes a problem.
That's Mike Fuller, all-time San Diego Charger return artist, punt return artist. He's inside his 30 for Cincinnati. From Ohio State.
Number 27, Richard Blackmore. Now watch this. Blackmore is going to be driven right into the receiver there. Knocked the ball out of his hand, but the ball has touched the receiver. Mike Fuller trying to get to the football, but he's just a step late. Griggs pounces on the football, and the Eagles get the first big break of the day.
At the 30-yard line of the Bengals, the rookie Griggs, who played at Villanova, they gave up football, transferred for his senior year to Ohio State, and the Buckeyes still celebrating that win over Michigan yesterday. Montgomery fumbles, and Reggie Williams has it for Cincinnati. Crowd delighted one moment, and on the very next play, Montgomery coughs it up. Dartmouth veteran Williams has it.
It appeared that one of the linebackers actually got a pretty good shot on him. There it is, right there.
So, Bengals have the ball when we return. Cincinnati. Bengals start from their 23. First possession, Anderson the quarterback. Pete Johnson, the fullback. Across the 25 to the 26, a gain of 3, 2nd and 7. Here's the lineup for Cincinnati. Anderson, Player of the Year last season in the National Football League, with 2 big backs, Alexander and Johnson, behind him. The receivers, a great core. Collinsworth, the brilliant rookie of last year. Isaac Curtis, the talented veteran. And the tight end, often forgotten but outstanding, Dan Ross. Munoz, the All-Pro. Lapham, Bush, Montoya, and Wilson, the components in that offensive line. 2nd down, 7. Griffin comes way out as a wing right. Up the middle, Alexander, and he has a first down at the 34-yard line. The initial first down of the return season goes to Alexander of LSU.
Forrest Gregg watching the work of his offense out there.
Defensively, Dennis Bigfoot Harrison, Ken Clark, the nose guard, Carl Hairston, the front 3. The linebacking core bunting. There's the big change. 56, Jerry Robinson, the Pro Bowler, has moved inside to join LeMaster, with Wilkes now the outside man. Young and Edwards are at the corners. Shara at safety along with Randy Logan, the veteran. First down play. Pete Johnson takes quite a wallop from Dennis Harrison. One of the few men on the field that outweighs Pete Johnson, who's around 260 pounds.
Marion Campbell, defensive coordinator for the Eagles, talking about the move that took Robinson inside. They simply felt that he could get in on more plays inside. He is an all-pro outside linebacker, and unusual to move an all-pro. But they felt that teams were able to maneuver away from his talents. They feel that being inside will allow him to make plays on both sides, both left and right, and that he can get in on more of the action.
I want to ask you a question about that after this play. 2nd and 9, Anderson. Broken up by Edwards as Collinsworth was the intended receiver. But in moving Robinson inside, and he has great speed, 4'6", he weighs only 218 pounds. Will he be able to handle all that heavy traffic in there?
Well, that's something we're going to find out about. Certainly easier in the kind of flexible defenses that we're playing now, that I don't think he could go inside on a 4-3, for example. But in a 3-4 setup, with his strength, he's a very strong 218-pounder. And I think he can handle those blocks inside.
3rd down and 9. Al Chesley is very unhappy. He's the man who's been replaced as Robinson moved inside, and Reggie Wilkes took the outside position. Triple right. Good protection and a fine catch. Steve Kreider has a first down or close to it at the 45-yard line. Let's see where they mark the ball. He may not have made it. It's going to be close.
It's going to be very, very close. Probably called for a measurement. Anderson sharp on that. Anderson cut his finger.
At McAnally, who led the National Football League in punting last year. Fairly short. Good bounce. And down to about the 21-yard line. So the Eagles have the ball for the 3rd time in this 4th quarter. Day, as Verlin and I will be calling the Cleveland Browns and Dallas Cowboys here on NBC. Eagles, no score, start from the 21-yard line. John Spagnola. And the pitch to Montgomery. Turns the corner and ducks out of bounds at the 23-yard line. A gain of 2. Cameron made the play defensively.
Los Angeles Rams, well, hello. Off to a jump, 7-0 against their arch rivals, the Atlanta Falcons.
Of course, there is no NFC West this year. It's all NFC and AFC. It'll be interesting.
Of course, the Rams, one of those teams that was off 0-2, and certainly those first 2 games have become much more important in a shortened format.
9-game season now, and most of the coaches feel it'll take 5 wins to make the playoffs, and that's the goal, at least 5. These 2 teams are 1-1 starting today. Jaworski to Ron Smith. He's to the 35-yard line, and the Eagles own their first down.
12 yards on the pickup. One of the concerns of the Cincinnati Bengals defense is the fact that they have not been getting good pressure on the quarterback. And it's very apparent on that play as Jaworski has all day to stand back there and throw that football. Gets it in front of number 13, Ken Rattler Riley. And of course they get the big first down. But that's something they're going to have to do. They're going to have to get pressure on the quarterback, or they're not going to play the kind of defense they need to play to win.
The Bengals having 6 sacks in the first 2 games, but not an interception. First down from the 35. It's Perry Harrington trapped in the backfield, gets loose and picks up a couple. So he turned a 5-yard deficit into a 2-yard gain before Brian Hicks could make the tackle from his safety position.
If you want to get outside, you've got to be able to close those big defensive ends in. Watch number 73, Edwards, being worked on by Jerry Sizemore. Sizemore doing a good job. He's number 76. Took Edwards to the ground, and now you see him break the corner on the outside. Picks up nicely, although they got good pursuit from Hicks from the inside to shut the play off.
And credit Harold Carmichael, the big wide receiver, for a pickup block to help Mr. Harrington out of that jam. It's 2nd down and 8 from the 37. Jaworski dumps it incomplete, and just as well to Harrington. Had he caught the ball, Glenn Cameron was right on him. It would have been a loss. As it turns out, incomplete. They'll return to the 37, 3rd down and 8.
These starting linebackers for the Bengals have been together for about 5 years now, and that kind of teamwork is very, very important. But LeClaire, Cameron, Williams, and all those guys have just really had a chance to enjoy working together over a period of time. They know each other inside out.
Jaworski 1 for 5, 12 yards. The one completion to Ron Smith. He needs 8 for a first down. Out of the shotgun, and here comes the Bengal defense.
The blitzers. Oh, now they're backing off.
Still the equivalent of an 8-man line. Down the middle, Carmichael, incomplete. Deflected and then almost intercepted by 26 Bobby Kemp.
One of the things you don't want to do as a defensive back is bat the football, or as an offensive receiver, bat that football into the air. Now watch, Carmichael is going down. He's the intended target. Defender batted it up in the air. Carmichael turns back with those long arms, had a chance at the football, but it was very nearly intercepted too. Bobby Kemp, the man that almost came up with the interception.
So Runiger will punt for the 2nd time in this initial quarter. 10 minutes remaining in the first period. Mike Fuller, who had some problems receiving the first kick, is back at the Bengal 22. Fuller 23, 25, 30. Looking for a block. There is none. Returns it out across the 35-yard line. And protest here in Philadelphia of sorts. Or on this beautiful day, maybe they're out just fishing. Anderson has a man open. It's Dan Ross, and the tight end scrambles across the 45. He's near a first down. Herman Edwards made the tackle.
Dan Ross does not get the kind of public acclaim that is given to Kellen Winslow, a few of the other tight ends around the league. But in my view, one of the complete tight ends in football, an excellent blocker, and simply unafraid when he comes across the middle. He took a real shot from Jerry Robinson earlier, kept right on going across there, and I watch him fight for that yardage. Boy, he's a tough customer. Good football player.
Let's see how Anderson uses this free down. He's just going to play it safe, get the first down as Pete Johnson takes the ball into Eagle territory to the 48-yard line. The Saints had the early lead against the Chiefs in the first quarter.
We talked about conditioning coming back. One man who's traditionally had weight problems is Pete Johnson. And I asked some of the players, I said, Al, how about Pete? What was his weight? And they were laughing. I was talking to Munoz and Montoya. Munoz said, I think he's going to back up Montoya at guard. He said about 265. But amazing the kind of quickness and strength that he is one specimen as a man, I'll tell you.
Didn't seem to lose any of his speed on that first carry. Fake to Alexander, and Anderson to the 45 to the 42-yard line. In the grasp of John Bunting, number 95. Anderson, who led all quarterbacks running the football in the NFL last year when he gained 320 yards. And he's not a youngster, 33 years of age, but still has good quickness.
One of the things that makes him such a positive quarterback is the fact that he'll make a decision like that without having to stop and worry about it. He'll pull that ball down and take off. He's an excellent runner, and he's learned how to protect himself. You saw him make the slide there. He hasn't been injured too many times of late because of his running.
6 yards on that scramble, so it's 2nd and 4 at the Eagle 42. Collinsworth Edwards wide open at the 21-yard line. First down, Cincinnati.
Pass to Collinsworth, the outstanding young receiver, in front of Herman Edwards, number 46. Time to throw here for Anderson. Eagles not mounting the kind of rush they would like to be getting on him. Pass thrown low, as you should throw that ball in front of the defender. Collinsworth comes up with a big catch.
Delightful young man from the University of Florida. His nickname is Cadillac. He likes to enjoy life. A Pro Bowler last year, certainly enjoyed first year in the NFL. He caught 67 and has a first down now at the 21. Keith Johnson just inside the 20-yard line. John Bunting and company stacked up the play for the Eagles.
Talked earlier about the change that the Eagles had made in their defensive backfield. John Shara, of course, coming off the injured reserve list, injured his knee first game of the season, and of course figured to miss a good many games. Actually only missed one, activated because of a foot problem. Bernard Wilson, ordinarily starting in the safety position. Shara's back there, and so far been doing a very fine job.
Only Johnson behind Anderson, double right, and Johnson up the middle, all the way to the 3-yard line. Herman Edwards, a quick pop, and Johnson shot through untouched.
That's the kind of play that gives defensive coordinators nightmares. Ken Clark, number 71, moving inside. Robinson trying to desperately cover the ground inside. But big Pete Johnson just ripped his way up through the middle, got very close to that goal line before they finally pulled him down.
The two cornerbacks, Roynell Young and Herman Edwards, had to scissor in to stop the touchdown. It's first and goal inside the 4-yard line. Alexander and Johnson split behind Anderson. Johnson gets a couple. Ken Clark, the middle guard, replacing Charlie Johnson, who starred for the Eagles at that position for the last few years. Clark made the stop along with Leonard Mitchell, 99, the second-year man from Houston.
One of the concerns that I'm sure Dick Vermeil and Marion Campbell would have in talking about that move of Robinson inside is that the reactions for a middle linebacker or for an inside linebacker are different than those for an outside linebacker. And in the heat of the battle, you do what you've been trained to do over the long haul.
And this, of course, Robinson's first shot at that game action middle linebacker. Anderson, incomplete, and wide open was Dan Ross. Actually, the Bengals had two men that were all alone. Rodney Holman, a tight end, and Ross, another. Look, they're both no one near him.
Double tight end, and both of them wide open. And Ross just coughed it up as he hit the ground, and he is furious with himself. They give back an easy touchdown, and the Eagles have dodged a bullet. 3rd and about 2. Let's see if they can keep the Bengals out of the end zone.
Well, that call certainly caught the Eagle defense off guard. Holman bookends on the right, Ross on the left. M.L. Harris, a third tight end, is winged out to the left. Harris, incomplete. Jerry Robinson on the coverage.
Tremendous coverage from Robinson, who was right on top of M.L. Harris. Man-to-man on Harris. Now watch him at the last second. The hand goes up. He's looking at the receiver all the way and cannot touch him until that ball arrives. That's fine defensive work.
So the Bengals will settle for a 3-point try as little Jim Breach, number 10, comes in for Forrest Gregg. Breach 4 for 7 in the first 2 games of the year. Steve Kreider to hold. A 20-yard try. This is nothing more than an extra point. And Cincinnati has scored first. Breach kicks it off. Henry and Camfield waiting at the other end. This is Henry at the 7, the 20, and he's out to the 25-yard line. A reminder, fans, after our Thanksgiving special, the Cowboys and the Browns on Thursday, next Saturday, NBC Sports World puts you in the holiday spirit with the beauty and the grace of world professional figure skating. Former Olympic greats such as Dorothy Hamill, Janet Lynn, Robin Cousins, the Protopopovs. They'll be featured. It's an encore performance from the Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland. An event you won't want to miss if you enjoy skating at all. Some brilliant performances next Saturday, 4 o'clock Eastern Time on NBC Sports World.
I saw the lineup for that. Just what an outstanding array of international talent.
It's like the Hall of Fame.
Oh my.
First down, Eagles trailing 3-0. Ball at the 25. Montgomery. Ooh, just tripped up and secure. They say he went down from the force of a defensive player, so they mark it back at about the 28-yard line. Jim LeClaire, 55, had a piece of him.
Trying to work that right-hand corner of their offense. Bo Harris, number 53, tried to come upfield and make the stop. Gets far enough out to just get a piece of Wilbert Montgomery's foot. Montgomery trying to gain his balance and crawling, but once he's been knocked to the ground, if he is hit by a defender and his knee hits the ground, ball is down. If he falls on his own, he can get up, keep going. Of course, that's the rule in the NFL.
Cincinnati dominating play, but leading only 3-0 in the first quarter. Second down, 7. Barry Harrington to the 32-yard line to bring up 3rd and 3. Cameron made the tackle. Harrington from Jackson State. He followed the great Walter Payton at that school. Has 83 yards rushing in the first 2 games of the year.
Chance again to watch Bo Harris, number 53. They expected to play outside. They cut it back inside, making pretty good yardage on that play, bringing up a 3rd and short. The Eagles probing the right side in there behind Kinney, the offensive guard, and number 76, Sizemore, big right tackle.
3rd down and 3. Jaworski out of the shotgun. Complete. Campfield, and a first down at the 39-yard line. Billy Campfield, he's one of the receiving specialists that Dick Vermeil uses in 3rd and pass, and he comes up with a catch and a first down. 7-yard play.
Ron Jaworski says he is the most dependable receiver on this team and an absolute genius at finding the open turf and then just absolutely steady. You get him that football, he'll catch it, and right there he found the necessary yardage for the first down. He had very fine play.
Merlin, he had 36 catches last year just in a situation player. He was on the same Kansas team. Nolan Cromwell was his quarterback for the Jayhawks. Cromwell, the all-pro safety with the Rams. Carmichael, another first down at the Bengal 48.
Many observers in watching the Eagles jump off to such a fine start this year, leading the NFL in offense. 14-yard pickup from Mark Carmichael on that play. Attribute that to the return of Sid Gilman, the offensive genius who was absent from Philadelphia for a year, and many people felt that reflected in less imagination for this Eagle offense during the '81 season. Well, he's back. The Eagles are cooking. Jaworski is back on track after a subpar year.
Carmichael's 528th career catch gives the Eagles a first down. First time in Cincinnati territory. Here's Harrington. And he burrows to about the 44-yard line. Wilson Whitley, the nose tackle from Houston, made the stop.
Looking over the shoulder of Steve Kreider. Bujnak inside now. A quick look at Wilson Whitley, number 75, big nose tackle. Does a good job of getting off the block of the center, Guy Morris, and right into the action. It's about a 3-yard pickup. He's 2nd and 7. I'm sure that Forrest Gregg was very disappointed that they ended up with 3 instead of 7 on that last drive. He would love to be sitting there with a 7-point lead at this point.
You won't see Ross drop that ball the next 99 times. Harrington on a swing, 45-40, and he is close to the first down at the Bengal 37.5. It'll depend on where they mark it. Bobby Kemp of Cal State Fullerton, the safety man, made the tackle.
One of the things you'll see the Eagles do is move their personnel around a great deal to try and take advantage of their special skills. They are not as talented a football team as the Bengals in terms of physical skills. They do not have the number of quality athletes.
seconds, and it's Montgomery inside the 35. Jim LeClaire of North Dakota, 55, in on the tackle.
Counting down to the end of this first quarter. We saw some mistakes in this first quarter, but we've also seen some pretty good football, Dick. A little balance of both.
Out wide left is Smith. Lots of hugging for mom during the layoff, during the strike. Jaworski buried by Eddie Edwards, the defensive end from Miami of Florida. So there's the first sack of the afternoon.
Edwards in right on top of him. One of the concerns that the Eagles had going into this game was that the Bengal defense is a very complicated defense. They throw everything but the kitchen sink at you, and you'd like to have an extra couple of days to get ready for them. Very short week.
And that is how the
practices this week. Whoa, I'm glad I wasn't there.
Your kind of coach. Jaworski, 3rd down and 12 at the 39-yard line of Cincinnati as we start this second quarter. Going deep down the middle to Campfield. First down at the 15-yard line.
Talking to Vermeil about Jaworski and Jaworski's season. He said he was off to the best start ever. He felt that he was the hottest quarterback in the NFL, and you see the reading ability of Jaworski and Campfield getting to that open area. Jaworski putting a little loft on that ball, dropping it into the open turf. What a fine play. We talked about Campfield and the fact that Jaworski loves to go to him in this situation. You see here exactly the reason for that. Great concentration on the ball. Big first down.
At the 15-yard line, trailing 3-0, the Eagles threaten early second quarter. Carmichael in motion. Flag down, complete to Montgomery, and he gets about 5 yards. And we'll check, unusually, to not only be playing but be a star in this National Football League. 1st and 15. Bootleg did not fool Browner. And it was close enough to Spagnola. No penalty flag.
That might be one of the most interesting passes you'll see all season, as Jaworski gave it a two-hand hook over his left shoulder and was able to get it in the direction of Spagnola. Now it's questioned here in my mind as to whether he was in the grasp of Browner. Browner would appear to have control of him there, but Jaworski shakes him off. Now watch him spin around. He's going to flip that ball over his shoulder right here. And look at this. He almost completes it. Spagnola comes back, gets his fingers on the ball. Would that have been a spectacular reception?
That would have gone into the highlight film or the low light film.
One or the other.
2nd down and 15. Let's see what Jaworski has in his bag of tricks on this down. Give it to someone else, and Harrington takes it from 79 Ross Browner. It was Browner that had Jaworski in his grasp on the previous play, and he was angry that he, 1, did not get a sack, and 2, he did not get the penalty.
Perfect construction by the defense as Browner was stunning inside and knocked that off. Detroit 14 over Chicago, off to a quick lead for Detroit. 2-0 when the season stopped. Looks like they want to get back on track again.
And New Orleans leads Kansas City 10-7 in the second quarter. Here, Cincinnati 3, Philadelphia nothing early in the second quarter on a beautiful, this is almost a summer-like afternoon in the middle of November in Philadelphia.
Almost like winding back the clock to earlier in the fall, isn't it?
Beautiful day. Too much time, and that will cost the Eagles 5 more. First down must put the ball inside the 5 of Cincinnati. Actually, the 27-yard line. Intercepted by Lewis Breeden, number 34. He's the man that tied the NFL record, 102 yards with a pass interception at San Diego last year. You saw on NBC. Almost picked that one off.
I think the Eagles were just trying to pick up a few of those yards because it's going to be a relatively long attempt for Tony Franklin. I think they wanted to get him a little closer for the attempted field goal.
It'll be about 44 yards. Franklin is perfect in this abbreviated season. He's hit on all 3 tries, 44, 44, and 47 yards. And this one will be 44. No good. Shara had field goal. Have the ball at their 27-yard line. Anderson 3 for 6 passing thus far. Plenty of time. He hits Ross, and the tight end is to the 43-yard line. A pickup of 15. First down, Cincinnati at its 43. From Philadelphia, let's go to New York. Across their own 43-yard line. Johnson the only setback. And Anderson to throw again. Going for the bomb. Collinsworth. Intercepted. Herman Edwards. Collinsworth makes the tackle at the 5-yard line. That one serves as a fairly dandy punt.
Collinsworth is just standing there looking at the official as if to say, wait a minute, didn't I get interfered with on that play? There was some bumping going on, but it was a clean interception for Herman Edwards as he broke inside. What a great play.
Sort of Odyssey is the keyboard.
In that final game of the 49ers. From the 5, Jaworski to Harrington. And Perry Harrington, nothing there as Leclerc makes the tackle. Going back to the interception by Herman Edwards, his second of the year, that in essence served as a 51-yard punt for Cincinnati, if you want to look at it that way.
It certainly did, Dick, and probably would have been difficult to get the ball out of bounds or down as close to that end line. I'm sure they weren't unhappy. They would rather have had Collinsworth catch it, however, and control the football inside the 5 themselves.
Short gain. Graciously give Harrington a yard. 2nd and 9. The Steelers, an unbeaten team, the first 2, leading Houston by a field goal early. Wilbert Montgomery flanked way out to the right, and Carmichael is in motion. From the end zone, that's going to be a safety, I believe. Let's see where the ball is. Safety. 2 more for Cincinnati. Reggie Williams, number 57 from Dartmouth. What a year he had last year. 4 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, 3 forced fumbles, 11 sacks, and he gets a sack and 2 points on that play.
No one there to
kick. Fuller at his 25. 30. And he is hammered at the 33 by number 98, Gregory Brown.
Greg Brown, an interesting story, Dick, was picked up, tried to play at several colleges, simply was not able to do so because he couldn't get eligible. Was a construction worker and picked right off the construction job and given a tryout here, and has turned out to be a pretty good football player.
He worked out during the summer with those Georgetown players. There's the Cincinnati Bengal offensive line.
They've got to be the biggest offensive line in football. We'll look at those numbers a little bit later again, but the size is awesome.
Averaging 6'5" and nearly 270 per man. Anderson throwing that one away. Archie Griffin was well covered by Randy Logan. And again, Anderson with that quick judgment, didn't try to force it. He had thrown that one away from the start.
Well, part of the passing game is protection. Watch Munoz getting to the outside. He sees a man breaking for his quarterback, and they just about tore him in half, not allowing him to get to Kenny Anderson. One of the reasons that Kenny Anderson was the player of the year, was the passing champion last year, is because of that kind of protection. And look at the size, 6'6", 278, 6'4", 262. The small guy, Blair Bush, 6'3", 252. Wow.
2nd and 10. Pete Johnson hit by 71 Ken Clark, and then followed up Hairston and Wilkes. And Johnson didn't like the little extra hit he took.
I mentioned off the top that this would be an emotional game. These players have been on the shelf for quite a while, and you see it there. They don't nobody likes that little extra shuffle, though. It's something a little embarrassing in that for an offensive back.
Ball is shy of the 35-yard line. 3rd down and still 10 for Cincinnati. That's Kreider setting himself wide right.
Ooh, I think we had a movement there. Oh, we did.
Anderson breaking away, and he's going to run it. 40, 45 out of bounds with a first down as Anderson able to scramble again. A flag is down, I believe. Dennis Harrison, 68, was offside for Philadelphia. We'll see if he was drawn off.
I think maybe there was a movement. In fact, looked like the left guard moved, Dick. Yes, he did. Of course, you can't move from that down position. There it is. It's Munoz right there. Actually had two guys lifting their hands prior to the snap of the ball. Munoz and Lapham both. Dave Lapham 62, Munoz 78.
That cost the Bengals 14 yards on Anderson's run.
And of course, that's something that you would expect to see today.
Offense.
Because some of your reactions are still a little dull, and it'll take a while to get back in gear that way.
Anthony Munoz. What a brilliant pick. The first-round choice of the Bengals 2 years ago. He was a punter in high school. He averaged 40 yards a kick. I imagine he probably ruined a few footballs.
Broke a lot of footballs, I'll bet. 267 pounds. He looks thin at that, Dick.
On 3rd and 15, down the middle, Collinsworth. Incomplete, and he was surrounded by Eagles.
Anderson throwing the ball into a crowd. Collinsworth actually being bumped, but you'll see here the application of the rule. The defensive players allowed to bump a man if they're not doing it intentionally, and if they're doing so and going after the football. Now, maybe a question there as to whether he was indeed going after the football. In fact, if we could allow the officials to look at that particular play, I think they'd throw a flag.
But he made it look good as he made his move into the player as he was turning as if looking to the ball, and incomplete. So Pat McInally, his Harvard team, beat the Yales in their annual rivalry yesterday. Under a 10-man rush, gets it away. Wally Henry at the 30. And down at the 33. Robert Jackson from Central Michigan made the tackle, number 37, and the man who certainly orchestrated the activities from the Union side. Who did win, if anyone? We know the fans lost, and that's how they feel in Philly. Harry Harrington to the 35, to the 41-yard line goes Harrington, a gain of about 9. Who do you think won the strike? Did anyone?
Well, nobody wins, but if you would take the positions that the owners wanted things to end up in and the position the players wanted them to end up in, let's say the players' position would be 1 and the owners 10. I think they ended up about 7.5 or 8. I think the owners certainly got more of what they wanted than the players did.
Do you think the players, rank and file, will ratify the agreement on Tuesday?
I think there'll be a lot of negative votes, Dick, but I don't think there'll be enough to take him out again. I think they will ratify it.
Montgomery.
Ooh.
First down as he's knocked out of bounds at the 46-yard line by Brian Hicks from McNeese State.
Montgomery getting some good running there, but also a fine block from number 63, Ron Baker. Watch Montgomery going to the outside. Little quick pitch out from Jaworski. And I think we're going to see the block right there. That. Oh, that's Spagnola. There, behind him, you saw the block on Eddie Edwards, number 73. Spagnola getting a good block as well. Not a great deal of yardage on that play, but that's some good, hard-hitting football.
Pittsburgh, the Steelers, trying to make it 3 wins in a row. 10-0 against Houston in the second period. Miami trails Buffalo. Both those clubs unbeaten. That's the only battle of undefeated teams today at Buffalo. Down the middle. Oh! Spagnola incomplete at the 50-yard line. And Reggie Williams is right there. And a good pop also from Bobby Kemp on Spagnola.
Jaworski paying the price for that one as he was decked after the pass was delivered. Spagnola bobbling that ball back and forth for a long while. He took a shot too. Some good hard-hitting football out here today.
5-0. The Eagles trail Cincinnati with 9 minutes left in the first half.
Worst by the strike. We're the rebuilding teams. Very, very difficult for them to get their momentum back.
And how about Mike McCormick starting in a strike as the new coach of the Seattle Seahawks? Harrington. He beat everyone but the last man to stop him, Louis Breeden, as Harrington all the way to the Cincinnati 43.
Very often we assess the abilities of a running back talking about his running skills, but I believe that very often it's visual skills that allow for a cut like that, seeing the opening inside and then being quick enough to take advantage of it. And seeing the play there, you see how quickly he reacted to that man coming from the outside. Very, very fine running by Perry Harrington.
An 11-yard gain and a first down at the Bengal 43. A touchdown would give the Eagles the lead. They trail by 5 on a field goal and a safety.
Reverse,
yes. Montgomery.
Oh.
And that didn't fool the Bengals a bit. Jim LeClaire, 55, made the tackle.
Wilson Whitley came in. Jaworski ended up clipping him. And then Whitley gets up. Maybe we'll get a chance to see it here. Here comes Montgomery from the outside. They wanted to use that speed. Now watch number 75, Wilson Whitley. Jaworski clips him. Now keep your eyes on this because, well, I guess we might not be able to see it. There, keep it going. He gets up and he steps right over Jaworski. Look at him. He's moving him out with his knees. He said, "Hey, kid, don't clip me."
No penalty flag, but it was quite obviously that Whitley saw that reverse all the way. Green Bay with a 6-0 lead against the Vikings in the second quarter. Second down, call it 14. Jaworski not exceptionally hot, although the #1 passer in the NFL starting today, but it's been a long time on the bench. Spagnuolo. And the Bengal defense obviously gave the Eagles that short pass, took away anything long, and it's down to the 41-yard line. It'll bring up third down. And we'll be looking forward to celebrating the Thanksgiving holiday with you here on NBC. Merlin and I will be down at Texas Stadium in Dallas as the Cowboys host the Cleveland Browns. That's 3:30 Eastern Time for NFL 82, the home of the Super Bowl. NBC Sports. We hope you'll pull up a chair and share your Thanksgiving Day with us.
These two teams, of course, entertaining thoughts of perhaps being in that Super Bowl. Certainly both having made recent trips, they'd like to go back and come away with a win.
Third down and a long 7. Blitz. And incomplete. Intended for Campfield. The reason the pass was high was that 79 Ross Browner and 57 Reggie Williams were pressuring Jaworski.
And this is exactly the kind of thing that Jaworski and Sid Gilman were worried about. Look at the number of people shooting here. Now there's no way that the Bengals can cover all of Jaworski's receivers. They're counting on getting to Jaworski before he can pick an open man, and they were able to do it. In fact, very often they'll leave a receiver uncovered. Now you say they can't do that, but they got away with it there.
Bobby Kemp, the safety man, was the first man in on Jaworski. Fuller back at his 10. Runiger will kick from about midfield.
Good kick. Will it get out of bounds?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes.
Beautiful kick.
1-yard line.
They just go out and kick the football.
Yeah, Runiger was absolutely perfect out of bounds on the 1. And they give it to one of the big backs, Pete Johnson, burrowing out to the 4-yard line. There's another story for Cincinnati, and that is a very important property is not in uniform today.
Jack Thompson, a backup quarterback who had been in a battle, had been the #2 quarterback for the Bengals, and had not looked too good in the first couple of games. It looked like Turk Schonert might be moving into that shot. Now there you see Schonert, number 15, right in the middle. Well, Thompson didn't come back after the strike. Didn't talk to anyone, did not report. In fact, is rumored to be negotiating with several teams in the USFL.
Second down 7 from the 4. Johnson again. And he's close to a first down as he crosses the 10. John Shara, 21, giving away considerable poundage to make the tackle.
You ask if Robinson could handle the pressure inside, and obviously they're trying to find out too. The Bengals, they're going right at him with this play. He's working there on the inside, and they ran right by him. Jerry not able to get in position to make the stop.
Down and an inch or two. And It's Johnson again, a first down and more as he's to the 16-yard line. In case you're wondering, as you saw Forrest Gregg, should there be a quarterback disastrous situation with the Bengals and Anderson and Schoenert could not play, Steve Kreider has been working out as the number 3 quarterback.
Carl Hairston, number 78, diving into the middle of that pile. But Pete Johnson is just such a physical back. And yet, looking back, Dick, how can we forget that crucial play, one of the most crucial of that Super Bowl, where the San Francisco 49er defense able to stop him several times on the goal line to keep the Bengals from scoring what would have been a very big touchdown for them in that game.
It's Johnson again. They're working him, and he gets good yardage again out near the 25-yard line. Shara made the tackle. Johnson, who set a Big Ten record when he scored 58 touchdowns with the Buckeyes. In fact, we have 2 players today who really were touchdown makers. Johnson, 58 in college with Ohio State, a Big Ten record, but Wilbert Montgomery set the NCAA record. He scored 76 touchdowns while at Abilene Christian to break Walter Payton's college mark by 10. So both those men know the way home.
They know how to get in that end zone, don't they?
Second down 3. Charles Alexander.
Bam.
He's not so fortunate as Carl Hairston from Maryland Eastern Shores. He wears 78. So did another graduate of that school, Maryland Eastern Shores, Roger Brown.
Big Roger. Roger's not so big anymore.
No,
he's out in San Diego. Last time I saw him, he weighed about 220 pounds and hardly recognized him. This looks so totally different.
He weighed 100 pounds more than that at one time, didn't he?
Well, and more.
Yeah, he looked sensational.
Yeah.
Third down. No gain on that last play. 3rd and 3. And Anderson to throw. Archie Griffin all alone. 30, 40, 45 and out of bounds at the 45-yard line. The 2-time Heisman winner, another ex-Buckeye, Archie Griffin, and a perfect little touch pass from Ken Anderson.
The Eagles putting the blitz on Anderson. Anderson able to hold off long enough. Watch Hairston get in there. He'll go high in the air to try and tip this pass. He gets up, but just goes over his fingertips. And again, that's in the blitz. Very often the defensive end required to pick up the backs flaring out of the backfield. Nobody there. Griffin goes down the sideline for a big first down, takes them out of trouble, puts the Eagles back toward their own territory.
22 yards. That's the longest play of the game. Dan Ross able to pick that one off the new carpet here at Veterans Stadium. Close to another first down. It'll be shy by a half yard.
Eagle defense coming in for some boos from the fans here. A very vocal crowd here. They love their sports. They know their sports, and they want their teams to win. And of course, the Eagles have given them a lot of winning football under Dick Vermeil.
Yeah, the reputation of the Boo Birds in Philadelphia is quite renowned. They say they boo Santa Claus. They boo the kids that don't find eggs on Easter Day.
Okay.
Second down, less than a yard. Indeed, they are outstanding fans. They know of what they cheer or boo. Anderson has a man open. Collinsworth. First down at the 30 of Philadelphia, and they're moaning again.
The formula for a good passing game is very simple. You need someone like an Anderson to throw the football, but you've got to give him time.
Reverse. Alexander has running room. 30, 25, and out of bounds at the 18-yard line, and that fooled the Eagle defense. There wasn't a green shirt on this side of the field.
Trying to take advantage of the fact that some of those containment responsibilities might be ignored a bit on a day like today. That's something that coaches have to stay after a defense about. Who has containment on this play? Who has containment on that play? Obviously, the man who had it on that play was not in sight when he should have been. Alexander really had not been playing up to the potential that the Bengals expected of him until late last season. He started to really come on. If he can get back to that form, he really adds an even greater dimension to this Bengal offense.
Yeah, remember the big game he had in the playoffs against Buffalo.
Big game. Great speed from him.
That's Pete Johnson with a first down. It appears, well, that was a first down play, and he's inside the 15 to the 14, where it'll be 2nd down and 7. And the Bengals will use a timeout here. 4 seconds remaining in the first half here in Philadelphia. The Bengals moving the ball through the air and with Pete Johnson on the ground. Johnson with 56 yards to lead all runners. It's 2nd down and 7 for Anderson. Looking into the end zone, and down he goes. Carl Hairston got him from behind. Clark was there as well, and so was Dennis Harrison.
Almost feel as if your comments have been heard in the huddle as the Eagle defense rises to the occasion. They have to try and make another big play here. They'd love to get a turnover if they could. The Eagles putting their long yardage defense into the game to try and take advantage of some speed. You watch Anderson going to the ground there. Good rush by Carl Hairston and Dennis Harrison.
Perhaps Anderson figured if you're going to be anything, be too tall, my man could get it. He won't. Breach to try a 39-yard field goal. Make it 38 officially. Right down the middle, and the Bengals add 3 more and now lead 8-0 to go for the 3 and successful to get the breach 38-yarder, and now he'll tee it up and kick it off to the Eagles. So we'll try to generate something, get on the scoreboard before the intermission. They have 61 seconds left.
Be interesting to see if Breach tries to kick this one low or kind of squib it a bit rather than going deep with it.
Good call. Through the wedge. Nice pickup by Henry at the 10, 20, 25, 30. And he is to the 40-yard line. Wally Henry finally wrapped up by Tom Dinkle. He did 2 things well. The obvious was running the football, but to field the ball on that short hop like a outfielder and get off to the good start was part of the play by Henry. Look at this good pickup.
Looks like a shortstop down there putting his body in front of that one, but watch the good cut to the outside. Oliver Davis, number 21, the man who dove for him and missed. Dinkle just gets a hold of him from the outside. Henry getting everything he could out of that one.
All the way to the 41-yard line, out of the shotgun, Jaworski. Mike Quick, the rookie, has it at the 49 of Cincinnati. Nearly a 10-yard gain before Bo Harris makes the tackle. Quick, the rookie from North Carolina, from midfield. Carmichael incomplete as Lewis Breeden from North Carolina Central. Very nearly an interception. Mike Fuller was there as well. It'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
Jaworski trying to take advantage of Carmichael's height. 6'7", 6'8" receiver, but had that ball a little bit low, and Breeden up there almost pulled it away for the interception.
So Jaworski statistically with a lot of 8s by his name. 8 for 18 for 88 yards in this first half.
Not stellar numbers.
Out of the shotgun. 40 seconds left. 8-0 Cincinnati.
Whoa.
Intercepted. Yep. Ray Griffin at the 50, and he's out of bounds at the Philadelphia 40-yard line. Griffin, the younger brother of Archie, has his first interception of the year, and the Bluebirds return to Philadelphia.
And of course, one of the tragedies is that that will go as an interception on the record of Ron Jaworski. No way that it should be there. The fault in the hands of the receiver. Watch this, right through his hands, over his head. Wilbert Montgomery making an error there that is very costly as Ray Griffin gets upfield, gets the Bengals in position to possibly come up with some more points.
And that for the Cincinnati Bengals is their to the 40 of Philadelphia. So time for the Bengals to add to their 8-0 lead. Anderson complete. Collinsworth at the 32-yard line, clock running. The Bengals have just 1 timeout left, so Anderson trying to hurry his team to the line of scrimmage.
Wants to get inside of the field goal range of the kicker. 14 seconds, 1 play to do it, and then call a timeout.
Collinsworth. Oh, his momentum took him out of bounds. He had plenty of run. No, he's out of bounds. They say he did not get both feet down. He had plenty of running room down the sidelines, but the pass a little behind him took him on momentum out of the field of play.
Jim Breach coming in. This will be a very long kick for Breach. Almost 50 yards, Dick.
It'll be a 48-yard attempt. In case you're wondering, Breach has a 50-yard kick earlier this year in September. His longest ever is 51, but he's not had an exceptionally good record outside the 40. Only 12 for 28, 43%. Actually, it's going to be a 49-yard attempt. Got plenty of leg. It is good. Jim Breach's third field goal of this first half gives the visiting Cincinnati Bengals an 11-0 lead.
Steve Kreider, the holder, doing a beautiful job of getting that one down. Watch the expression. I don't think Breach thought that had enough leg to get there. Done very nicely.
Rodney Tate, the rookie from Texas, is also back, but it comes to Verser at the 3. He has speed. 30. And almost shot through, is tripped up at the 38-yard line by Zach Valentine, a former Pittsburgh Steeler, number 54. Ken Anderson and the Bengal offense comes on the field. He'll have Pete Johnson and Charles Alexander in the backfield with him as the running backs. And Johnson's more rushing yardage, 56, than the entire Eagle team. First half, Collinsworth, Curtis, and Ross. Ross and Collinsworth had 3 catches apiece to lead the Bengals, and there is the Cincinnati offensive line. From the 37. Anderson comes out throwing. Incomplete to Dan Ross. Well covered by Randy Logan and Reggie Wilkes. It's Wilkes, 51, from Georgia Tech, the linebacker.
Reggie Wilkes, the man that moved in to take that outside linebacking position vacated by Robinson, doing a good job. There's the defensive line, Hairston, Clark, and Harrison. They have not really been impressive in this first half. Bunning, Robinson, LeMaster, and Reggie Wilkes, the man you saw just making that play. Roynell Young, number 43, and Edwards, the safeties. Edwards, of course, making that fine interception early. Randy Logan and John Shar, the safeties.
Second down. Pass situation, and Anderson will accommodate. Dan Ross to the 40, to the 45. There's a new wrinkle by the Bengals. Ross, actually a tight end, and retreating back into the backfield. Little tight end screen, in essence, and he picks up pretty good yardage.
Some of the purists will scream that's garbage football, but as long as it makes yardage and you can do it consistently, there's nothing wrong with throwing a tight end screen. Of course, the Bengals throwing a wide variety of offense at you, and they're very sneaky about it. Doesn't look like they're doing that many things, but they really throw some wrinkles at you.
Veterans Stadium, a lot of no-shows today. Expected sellout, a lot of empty seats. Third down, call it a long 2. To Kreider, first down at the Philadelphia 48-yard line is Steve Kreider, one of that core of outstanding young receivers that Merlin alluded to in the first half. The Bengals so well blessed at that reception position.
That injured finger of Ken Anderson's that he hurt while trying to carve a piece of foam. Obviously not bothering him much as he had that ball right on target. Put a little zip on it. I noticed that the quarterbacks threw a couple of shots early that didn't seem to have any zip or any velocity, but they've both warmed up as this game has continued.
It's like fastball pitchers, you know, kind of finding their way, and about that 3rd or 4th inning really finding the heater. Pete Johnson to the right side, 45-42. Big man carrying about 260 pounds. Dennis Harrison at 275. Bigfoot made the stop along with Jerry Robinson.
Coaches will talk about the importance of the first series after the half as being a series that you kind of set the tempo for that second half. Of course, David Verser came right out with a big return, and the Bengals have stepped in and started to play solid offense. I'm sure that's very frustrating for Dick Vermeil. He needs to have his defense stiffen up here, force a turnover, or at least stop the Bengals.
2nd and 5. From the 42, Anderson to throw. John Bunning gets him from behind. Bunting from North Carolina, the outside linebacker, shot through on a dog and was able to track down Anderson from the backside. The second Eagle sack today.
Bunting coming from the outside. Pete Johnson assigned to block him, knocked him away, pushed him. Well, you'll see it here. Watch him coming from the right side of your screen. Johnson will step out, pick up the blitzer. He'll push him back beyond the quarterback. Anderson simply cannot find a receiver. Holds the ball too long. Bunting gets back into the play. Hard to criticize Pete Johnson. He held him out a long time. What you have to say there, Anderson just ate the football.
3rd down and 10 back at the 47 of Philadelphia. And the blitz on again. Anderson, down he goes at the 46, and a flag is down.
I think we're probably going to have a holding call.
If so, undoubtedly the Eagles would decline and force the punting situation. It is against Cincinnati. And Hairston says, we don't want it. We want the football. Here's Jerry Markwright.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 58. Offense declined.
Blair Bush, the center. There he is on Ken Clark right there. He's got just a death grip on Ken Clark, number 71. That takes him past Ken Anderson. Anderson fighting to stay on his feet, eventually is knocked down, and of course they'd rather have the down than the penalty, forcing McAnally into a punting situation.
He kicked twice in the first half for a 37.5-yard average. Wally Henry back at the 10. Dying spiral. Henry at the 20 and able to recover his own fumble at the 22.
Woo.
Buff of the punt at the Eagle 22, and trailing 11-0. It's Montgomery breaking a tackle. Beautiful cut and a first down at the 34-yard line for Montgomery.
Obviously the Eagles feeling that they too must establish their running game. They go right to their best weapon. Dick Vermeil says this man is the finest athlete on his team. Best football player they have. Wilbert Montgomery hits into the back of Jerry Sizemore, 76, keeps his balance, uses one of the defenders, Ross Browner, as a blocker, and gets himself a first down.
What a player he has been, and he was the 154th player picked in that draft. Intercepted and then lost by Ken Riley, who is the all-time Cincinnati pass thief with 52. Almost had another.
We talked about the great strength of this Bengal football team. One of the reasons that they have accumulated that kind of team is that they have had a very consistent drafting policy. They have 11 first-round draft choices active on the team, 6 second-round choices, 10 third-round choices. Now you look at the difference in Philadelphia. They simply have not had the draft picks over the last few seasons. In fact, many of those draft picks went elsewhere in trades. Not a single player on this Bengal team arrived in their camp via trade, Dick.
Montgomery on a screen is in trouble. And Ken Riley came up to help out Jim LeClaire on the tackle. And a loss to the Eagles, as the Cincinnati defense has seemingly been right on top of every gimmick play by Philadelphia today.
Well, and one of the reasons is because of a very active core of linebackers. Number 55, Jim LeClaire, coming all the way across the field, reading that play, and that's what you have to do. You've got to have a lot of defensive bodies over there to shut off the avenues for a dangerous runner like Wilbert Montgomery.
3rd down and 13 for Philadelphia. They trail here early in the 3rd quarter, 11-0 to Cincinnati. 3 field goals and a safety for the Bengals. Shotgun, Jaworski. Far sidelines open and complete to Ron Smith.
He's short of the first down, and of course that's a tragic error. The receiver has got to know where that yard marker is. He certainly could have gone for it.
Listen to the crowd.
And they're going to go for it.
Well, Dick Vermeil just hopes that if those fail, that the crowd will come in support of him when they talk about retiring his number.
I think if he misses it, they'll boo even louder.
That's true, after they cheered him to go for it. Such it is. They paid their price in. So they cheer the choice of going for it, down 11-0. And this is almost uncharacteristic of Vermeil. He has to try to generate something in his own end. 44-yard line. It's still early in the third quarter. They trail only 11-0. Jaworski, oh, it's going to be close.
I don't think he got it. It all depends on how it's marked, but it did not look to me like he got it.
He did take about a half step forward, and then the crush of the defensive charge. Now the Bengals, led by Whitley in the middle, Edwards and Browner, with LeClaire and Cameron backing it up the linebackers.
Of course, the Bengals saying they took the football away from Jaworski. They probably did. Probably stripped it out, but they'll bring the sticks in and measure. No, they won't either. They just say he didn't get there.
Listen to the crowd now.
Chance for you to see for yourself. Let's look at that offensive surge. Jaworski ducking under. And it looks like he got good blocking in there by some of his offensive linemen, but enough penetration to keep him from picking up the first down. This season's #1 total defense last year. He's not happy.
They're dead last after 2 games this year. Anderson, little play action. Look at the running room. Now he's going to throw it wide open, but
#1 total defense last year. He's not happy.
They're dead last after 2 games this year. Anderson, little play action. Look at the running room. Now he's going to throw it wide open, but Charles Alexander had the ball thrown behind him, and Anderson very nearly across.
He is across the line, and he gets a flag. He is across the line.
It was so tempting, all that open space ahead, that Anderson flirted with the thought of running it, then saw Alexander out there all alone.
There you see the signal. Yeah.
Illegal forward pass. He was beyond the line of scrimmage. Well, they marked it off. Let's run down all the scores for you. Still in the second here, it's 11-0 Cincinnati. Now on 2nd and 15. Johnson on a screen. 45, 40, 39-yard line. Oh, he ran right through Reggie Wilkes. Shara there to make the tackle.
Well, that's frightening to see a 265-pounder catch that football. That's like doing some of your own blocking when you're that big.
It's like a middleweight taking on a fully grown heavyweight.
His performance has not dropped off either. One of the things, he usually carries extra weight late in the year, but Forrest Gregg, of course, fines his players for being overweight. In fact, one of his players, Gary Burley, is paying $450 a day for carrying about 18 extra pounds.
3rd down, 6. Ball at the 39 of the Eagles. Good protection. Now he's in trouble. Wide open Johnson. 40, 35. And the big fullback at the 30. 25, 20, and finally out of it.
Let's see if we can pick it up. Anderson doing a masterful job here. Gets one fake and starts to pull out of there. Ken Clark, number 71, is holding him into the inside. Anderson gets away from him, cuts back inside, and flips a little pass right across. Now watch this work as Pete Johnson will come all the way across the field. Now let's see if we can see number 85, Isaac Curtis, coming in from the backside. Where are you, Isaac?
3rd down.
Well, it'll look at the right side of your screen. There it is. There's the man he hit right there. Number 27. Ronell Smith was the man. No, 27. Who's number 27?
Richard Blackmore.
Richard Blackmore. Yeah, he's the 5th defensive back. He was the guy that got hit from behind.
Here it is again. Boy, what a little dart that Anderson threw. Wasn't that a pretty little
shot? Here's a chance for you to see it right there at the back. Quickly, Blackmore being knocked down from behind. And of course, they'll mark it off.
Back
They're
to the
down at about 3.
Actually, they gained 2 yards with a penalty and pass completion. 3rd down. That's a 1st down to the 29-yard line as a drill to Steve Kreider. One thing about Anderson, he really doesn't seem to have any favorites. He looks the field over, he sees an open man, doesn't check to see what number he's wearing, and he feeds it to him.
He just pulls the trigger. He just pulls it.
Here at Veterans Stadium, a sellout of 71,000, and a lot of folks elected not to come, and even those who had purchased a ticket. And you just wonder around the National Football League how many empty spots there are. 14-9. Dallas has regained the lead in the 3rd quarter. Robert Newhouse on a 3-yard run. Charles Alexander, good second effort, gets a couple of yards to about the 26-yard line. Sharon Logan up from the secondary to make the hit. Charles the Great from LSU. He and Bo Harris have worn those tiger stripes through college and now through pro ball.
Number 56, Jerry Robinson, blitzing to the inside, locks up on the inside with Mike Wilson. Number 77 fills that hole rather nicely, but Alexander still able to find room to get a couple of yards there.
NBC is going to be featuring those LSU Tigers on Orange Bowl Day, Orange Bowl night, January 1st. Congratulations to their fine year.
Reverse.
Isaac Curtis, 25-20, and the veteran from San Diego State still showing his blazing speed.
Still has those great moves and that great speed, and of course it's been so complemented by these young receivers. Jerry Robinson will show you his speed here as he literally almost runs down Isaac Curtis from behind. Robinson able to give you that 4.6 in the 40, which is most unusual for a linebacker.
Isaac Curtis and Herman Edwards, as you see, Green Bay leading Minnesota 19-7, were both at the University of California and transferred to San Diego State. Curtis a couple of years ahead of the cornerback of the Eagles, Edwards.
That must have been a wild Cal Stanford game yesterday.
Oh, well, the play. Mike Adamle showed that great play to end the game. Not so great if you're a Stanford fan. I guess the California lateral play initiated by Joe Kapp. It took a great move around the bassoon section to win it for the Bears. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
This is KYW TV3 in Philadelphia.
Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen, Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. A game that has featured the domination of the Cincinnati Bengals offense. Forrest Gregg's club leading Dick Vermeil's Eagles 11-0. We're 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter, and the Bengals driving for more. Have it at the Philadelphia 19-yard line on 2nd down and 9. Charles Alexander to about the 16-yard line.
Of course, one of the advantages of having Big Pete Johnson in that backfield is that an extra 265-pound blocker is almost like putting an extra lineman in there. In that case, he was driving up in front of Charles Alexander. Alexander, good speed, good quickness. That's an excellent tandem in the backfield.
Well, he's a good blocker too, Merlin, at 6'1" and 221.
You bet. Big backs. And of course, that's one of the reasons that the Bengals have been so successful today. They have been able to pick up those first downs and a lot of those short yardage situations.
Anderson looking to the end zone now, then dumps it off to Johnson. 20, 15, 10, 5. He's out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Pete Johnson, and just defying those defensive backs once he gets into the open. 1st and goal, Cincinnati. Jerry Robinson finally able to track down Johnson.
Again, this is the kind of thing that the Bengals do so well. Anderson looking downfield, knows that Johnson is open. He can read that from the positioning of the defenders downfield, just flicks the ball out to him. That's like a long handoff. That's like handing the ball off to Johnson in the backfield, but he's wide open into the secondary.
We should say for Pete Johnson, who was not known for his great hands out of college, that was a tough catch he made. The ball was behind him and low.
He's become a fine receiver.
1st and goal. Alexander.
Ooh, good play, good defensive play.
Led by Reggie Wilkes from on top, and underneath was 99 Leonard Mitchell, the #1 draft pick of the Eagles out of the University of Houston a year ago. And Wilkes from Georgia Tech. He is a second cousin of Jamal Wilkes, the brilliant forward of the Los Angeles Lakers and former UCLA All-American.
Wants to go to medical school. In fact, he's very eager to have a chance to almost signed up for medical school when the strike started to drag on, but they got him back just in time.
From the 2, 2nd down. Anderson over the middle, touchdown, and Dan Ross didn't drop that one. Ross, who let one get away in the first quarter, said thanks for the chance to make amends, and the Bengals run their lead to 17-0.
Chance to watch it again. Anderson reading the pattern well and zips this one. Notice how he puts it close to the ground. Ross taking it as he rolled into the end zone. Good pass, good play.
His 2nd touchdown this year. Ross had 5 last year, and of course set a Super Bowl record. Remember, he caught 11 balls in the Super Bowl game against San Francisco. Breaches try after. He hooks it, but it's still good. He got it inside the upright. Eagles, they might as well not be playing today the way things are going. Breach's kick goes out of bounds, and we understand that a new record may have been set here in Philadelphia. Veteran Philadelphia writers are saying that today's pre-halftime booing was the loudest they've ever heard in Philadelphia. That may indeed be a record.
Yard advantage here. Let's see if they can do something with it.
High and short. Henry at the 14.
Ooh.
He gets to the 31-yard line. Good coverage by the Bengals. Whistle, a break in the action. 4 minutes 12 seconds left. Free for something. First down at the 31. Inside handoff and a good play to Harrington. And he's out to the 39 in a sizable gain on first down. Brian Hicks made the tackle. As we look ahead now with the whole restructuring, there are no divisions anymore, just the two conferences. And this is how it'll line up on NBC when we get into January. The last weekends played January 2nd after New Year's. In the first round, the top 8 teams in the American Conference and National Conference will play it off. First best record against the 8th best in each conference. We, of course, will have 4 games for you that first weekend. Then the second round, third round, and the Super Bowl is scheduled in Pasadena on January 30th. You get your feeling about the restructuring, Merlin. First down and more for Montgomery. He's out to the 45-yard line. My one opinion is that the National Football League did a tremendous job in salvaging what's left of this year to take just a 9-game season and make it really seem, to me, it's going to be interesting.
And I think it's going to be meaningful. And the other thing it will do for the first time, it will allow us to pick the best football team at the end of the year. Normally you qualified with the best record, which means a lot of the teams that have the best record sometimes are slumping by the time the season ends. This year it's a test of the best teams at the end of the year, and the team that comes through there will be playing the best football at that time in the season.
It really will be a tournament. And there's another Eagle first down as John Spagnola, the tight end from Yale University, is into Cincinnati territory with the ball at the 43. Jim LeClaire, the tackler.
One other change, and that is that the final playoffs before the Super Bowl will be at a neutral site. And of course, one of the reasons for that, I think, a game that was played last year with the Cincinnati Bengals, a game we did when the San Diego Chargers played on a day when the chill factor hit a -59. And let's hope we don't ever have to do one of those again, Dick.
Yeah, but I hate to see it taken away from the hometown teams. I'm not sure I like the neutral site. 43-yard line, first down. Jaworski trying to get the Eagles offense in gear. There's a kick, Gleason, and a fumble, and the Eagles recover. Jerry Sizemore, the tackle, following the play downfield, has it at the 32-yard line as the big wide receiver Harold Carmichael was popped hard, and Sizemore opportunistically there to pick up the fumble.
Let's get a look at this. Good job by Jaworski of spotting Carmichael open, looks first to the left and then zips the ball. Ball coughed as he was hit, and the ball rolled away. Dwight Hicks had his hands on it momentarily. Sizemore doing a good job of getting there ahead of the Bengals to preserve the Eagles' drive.
And a first down. It was Cameron who made the hit on Carmichael to force the fumble. From the 32. Harry Harrington wrapped up by Wilson Whitley. He's played a strong game in the middle. Whitley got the message from Forrest Gregg when the Bengals, despite their great year, went into the draft, and their first 2 picks were defensive linemen. They felt that Whitley wasn't playing up to his potential. He had only 2 sacks last year. Former Lombardi Trophy Award winner. He's played a big game today. Ball at the 30, second down and 8, Philadelphia. Eagles trailing in the final minute of the third quarter. They're down 18-0. Screen to Carmichael. And the big man is to the 17 and a first down. How marvelously fickle fans are.
Well, their team is finally giving them something to cheer about. Big Harold Carmichael making the most of that opportunity to touch that football as he picked up about 15 yards on his own.
5 seconds left, and perhaps that's the last play of the quarter. Jaworski. He had Montgomery open. open, but overshot him, and Jaworski very unhappy with himself.
Well, that's one that we can attribute to timing. Normally, Jaworski would have released that ball sooner. I think he sensed that he was late with that football, and he put a little extra on it. Well, what happened is the ball took off. Just simply went too high.
Amazingly, the statistics through 3 quarters, the Bengals only a few more yards than the Eagles overall, and yet they lead 18-0. In case you're curious, Cincinnati last had a shutout in '76. Philadelphia has not been shut out since '77. The Rams did it 20-0.
Montgomery.
Oh.
And again, a timing play, and Montgomery had the half step, but the ball was a half step long.
Trying to take advantage of that 4.5 speed as he ran him up the sideline. Montgomery not able to reach the football. Jaworski's going to have another chance. He's got 3rd and 10, and tough place. He'll need all the expertise of Sid Gilman up here.
And he's going to see a different Cincinnati defensive alignment as you look at Carl Hairston. Claude Humphrey said, "I've never seen a man in this game hustle more than Carl Hairston." That's the ultimate compliment, one athlete to another.
Especially from a pro like Claude Humphrey. Although Hairston did not have the year last year that he had in the year prior. Vermeil was a little unhappy about that. Did not have a bad year, but was not up to the quality of the football that he'd played earlier.
3rd and 10 for Jaworski out of the shotgun. Facing 6 defensive backs. He finds an open man. Billy Campfield inside the 10, but not enough for the first down. It's going to be 4th and a couple, maybe just a yard, and Campfield shaken up on the play. Remember, the Eagles were stopped on 4th and less than a yard on their own 44 earlier. This time it's Montgomery. He's got it.
Well, you got a crucial 4th down situation. You give the ball to your best football player, number 31, Wilbert Montgomery, and he didn't disappoint him. He not only got the yard, he got a little extra. Going outside to try and get away from that aggressive drive by the Bengal defense. Montgomery has to cut back inside to pick up that yardage, but look at him fight for the extra yard there. Kemp bounces off Bobby Kemp and dives over to the 5.
What a player Montgomery's been. Last 4 years, he's gained 4,900 yards.
1st and goal outside the 5. Jamona is in for Montgomery, giving him a breather. This is Louis Jamona. Ooh. Wilson Whitley again invading the Eagle backfield to make the loss behind the line of scrimmage of Louis Jamona. Gets 1 shot and loses 2.
And I think they've got to go to the air.
Where else would the loss be but behind the line of scrimmage?
Well, you could lose money.
That's I suppose.
Yes. In fact, a lot of these players did, and not being here for 7 weeks, they lost a lot of money.
And you can lose respect.
2nd and goal on the 7. The Eagles. Jaworski. Carmichael.
Whoa.
Stopped at the 2-yard line. Lewis Breeden, Ken Riley, both there to topple the big 3 Carmichael, who is 6 feet 8 inches tall. Montgomery apparently still shaken up. Stays on the sidelines.
He really took a hit, but let's watch Carmichael as he stretches downfield here. I think number 17. What a huge target he is. Cradles that football, but he just takes a Lewis Breeden, 34, just blows his legs right out from underneath him. 3rd down, a little less than 3 yards to go.
Eagles trailing 18-0, trying to get on the board early in the 4th quarter. Jaworski going to run it and doesn't make it as Bobby Kemp, the 2nd-year safety, makes a great open field tackle. And the fans, everyone saw an open man. They're all telling the fella or woman next to him, "Didn't you see the guy wide open?" Yeah, they didn't have those big guys chasing them down either.
Jaworski taking all the time he could not find an open receiver. Did a good job of avoiding Eddie Edwards, number 73. Sizemore trying to hold him off. Jaworski still hoping, I think, to get a receiver at that point. Unable to do it.
He's down at the 4. It's 4th and goal. We'll see what the Eagles do. 14 plays in the drive, and now 4th and goal at the 4. Jaworski has his receiver offense in. Flag is down, and so is Campfield, as Reggie Williams made the defensive play. And how this man is matured at linebacker for the Cincinnati Bengals. 3rd round pick out of Dartmouth. Williams, a banner season last year and all over the field this year, and the penalty goes against Cincinnati for offside. What a break for the Eagles. It does not.
Starting to the outside, cutting in behind the block of Steve Kenny, number 73, accelerating into the end zone. Another look as you see the surge of that Cincinnati Bengal defense, able to avoid it to the outside, follow Louis Jamona, number 33, into the end zone.
Try for point by Franklin is good.
Talk about him in a moment.
Rodney Tate and David Verser deep. It is Verser at the Bengal 8. 20 and to the 27-yard line. Al Chesley made the tackle, number 59.
Pastorini, I teased him yesterday. I said, I hope you're making a collection of all these uniforms. Of course, he's moved from Houston to Oakland to Los Angeles and now here to Philadelphia. He said, yeah, he said, I'm going to open my own museum. Good sense of humor.
He could put more than uniforms in there, couldn't he?
We have 163 no-shows. Vito Cav, the rookie from Penn State, a little ice on his leg. Ken Anderson complete to Collinsworth, and the lanky receiver is out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Reggie Wilkes made the play, and Collinsworth has his 4th catch of the day.
Collinsworth limping as he comes back onto the field. I would imagine that they'll pull him off to the sideline. Of course, this is a dangerous time in this game, Dick. Players obviously will be feeling more fatigue than is normal, and that's the time when you get hurt. You get a little sloppy, you don't protect yourself as well. Be very careful during the final quarters of a game like this.
Collinsworth picked up just the 10 yards for the first down from the 37. 10:48 left in the game. Bengals lead 18-7. And Anderson staying in the air. Complete to Steve Kreider at the 48-yard line. Appears to be close to another first down. This telecast, presented by authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Philadelphia Eagles and the National Football League is prohibited.
Dick, one of the things that you would expect, and I'm sure that Jaworski would love to have had a chance to have a little more activity today than he had, at least a few more trips into the end zone. But you'd expect the Bengals to be running the ball more. But they're so confident in their passing game that they're never afraid to throw the football.
First down from the 48. Pete Johnson will run it this time. And he's to the Philadelphia 44-yard line. A solid pickup of 8 yards on first down for the rumbling giant Johnson. Oh, he's moved that 260 pounds around well.
He certainly has. And he has not shown any after effects from carrying that extra poundage.
You know, you talk about, fighters who are amateurs and they have 100, 150 fights, and you see their pro record maybe is 10-4. You forget about those amateur fights. I want to tell you a little story about Pete Johnson after this play, how much football he has been involved with, high caliber level. Johnson again on cue. He has the first down at the 40. Johnson not only played at Ohio State, as you'll see the blocking form in front of him, but he was so big so soon, 180 pounds in the 7th grade, that his name, Willie James Hemmick, and he changed it to Pete Johnson so that he could play 7 years of high school varsity ball in New York. He was playing high school ball when he was still in the 7th grade using 2 names. Willie James Hemmick, now Pete Johnson, and then on to Ohio State.
Like they're massaging the leg of Billy Campfield. in the plantaris area of that calf. An easy muscle to strain.
Johnson again. He has another 7 yards on that little flare. Bunting and Wilkes made the tackle. Let's run down all the scores for you. Pittsburgh and Houston. The Oilers, surprisingly, with a tie in the fourth quarter. Dallas, a 5-point lead against Tampa Bay in the last quarter. That's now 7-0. Cleveland has scored in the fourth quarter over New England. 37-0. The Jets with an easy win against Baltimore, apparently, in the fourth. Miami now has a 2-point lead. 3 field goals for the Dolphins fourth quarter. Both those teams unbeaten. Atlanta, after trailing 14-0, now leads 27-17. The Bears have a 3-point lead against the Lions in the third quarter. The rest of the scores after this play. It's 2nd and 3. Johnson, they're really working the big guy, and not this time. He accepts a loss. Reggie Wilkes, 51, the linebacker, made the big play for the Eagles.
Maybe Forrest is going to play him into shape.
Green Bay leads Minnesota 26-7 in the fourth quarter. And we'll have some late scores, and of course NFL 82 there. New Orleans has a touchdown lead against the Kansas City Chiefs in the fourth quarter. So stay tuned. NFL 82 have all the results for you before we leave the air.
Crucial third down here for the Eagle defense. They need to get that football back for Ron Jaworski and the offense. 7:22. Still plenty of time to go in this football game, but they can't allow the Bengals to keep holding the football.
Nor a touchdown. A field goal would at least keep them within 2 touchdowns. Anderson is low, and there was a trap. Ross thought he had it, but it came in on one hop. He was well covered. Good try by Ross.
Ross doing a good job of acting there. He knew that ball bounced, but figured he'd be positive about it anyway.
No argument from the Bengals, and with a ball spotted at the 36, that would be about a 53-yard field goal, and that's out of the range of Breach. So Anderson with the lead, 18-7.
Well, they don't figure they're going to gain that much with a punt. They're just going to go for it here, or at least would appear to be going for it.
That's an interesting call. So the Eagles with 7:10 left, hoping to stop Cincinnati. 4th and 6. Collinsworth is back in the game. Anderson. Did Ross catch that ball? Oh my, he was stumbling, going down, and reached up and meat hooked it.
I'm not sure I believe he even caught that football. What an amazing catch. A chance to look at Dan Ross, number 89. Now watch him as he breaks to the outside here. He appeared to stumble a little bit, and I think that's the turf again. Almost on the ground, reaches back with that right hand and hooks it one-handed behind him. Whoa, wow.
Circus catch by Dan Ross.
Wow.
Is he at midseason form or
Boy,
late
I'll
season?
tell you, another angle. You'll see it there. He caught it with one arm behind him as he was going to the ground. Big play.
And a first down at the 25-yard line. Dan Ross. Reverse. Alexander. Not much there to the 24-yard line. They didn't fool Reggie Wilkes, who makes another solid play. Dan Ross now 6 catches, 56 yards, and that's one to put in your scrapbook. Falling down, actually being pinned down by a defensive player, and still reaching back behind you with one hand to make the play while you're on the turf.
And of course, controlling the clock. 5:55, 5:54, and ticking down. You know, the Eagles not able to put any points on the board when they don't have the football, and of course that's the objective for the Bengals here. Control the football, control the clock.
And Merlin, look at the exodus. Have you seen so many fans leave so early? The game really is fairly close. Incomplete, intended for Isaac Curtis. Frank LeMaster on the coverage, number 55, the Eagles linebacker. Half the crowd going home.
Well, I think they're disappointed in their Eagles today, Dick, and they're also angry. They're still angry about the strike, and I think they want to let people. I think they want to let the players and coaches feel that a little bit too.
And the losing teams are going to feel that anger in this first week much more than the winning teams.
Oh yes. I think important to come back and put a win on the board, and if you're going to lose on the road. I put it that way.
Get the fans on your side with
That's
a victory.
right. Absolutely.
3rd down and 8. The Eagles still think stop. The Bengals will have a chance.
There it is.
Intercepted. That's Jerry Robinson. And he had the speed but couldn't quite get into a full gallop. Philadelphia's ball at the 37-yard line. And the play was made as Anderson was hit by Gregory Brown. Brown forced that flip-flop pass into the arms of Robinson.
Brown has a an extra rusher last year, bagged 7.5 sacks. You'll see him coming from the backside here. Number 98 right there, reaches across and hooks Anderson's arm just as he throws the football. The Eagles have an opportunity.
Leaving, and others seem disinterested. Jaworski from his 37. He's 15 for 29 today. 1 interception. And a flag. Early movement. Apparently against the Eagles. False start.
Looked like Ron Baker, number 63, lifted up just before the snap. And of course, you can't move that hand. And that's something that's, you know, you're eager to get going. Watch the right guard, number 63 there, just lifting up out of his stance. And of course, you can't do that. Mark it off.
First down.
So first down and 15 back at the 32-yard line. In case you joined us late, Cincinnati took a 3-0 lead in the first quarter on a 19-yard field goal by Breach. Then they got a safety as Reggie Williams sacked Jaworski in the end zone. A Breach 38-yard field goal and another of 49 made it 11-0 at the half. Anderson to Ross, a 2-yard pass, 18-0 after 3 quarters. And Harrington's 2-yard run, the only Eagle touchdown here in the fourth quarter. It's 18-7. Harrington getting out of bounds. And that's an alert play with time down to the 5-minute mark. The Eagles have to get the ball back again, even if they score in this possession. So save every second you can.
That's critical. Jaworski, good at working the clock, very adept at working the clock in the closing stages of a game. Needs to get this first down, and of course, starting 1st and 15 and now 2nd 15, or almost 15, a real disadvantage for him. You see him taking the signal from the sideline. Consultation between Sid Gilman and Dick Vermeil. Play goes in from the sideline. Jaworski then relaying it into the huddle.
I certainly did. Jaworski on 2nd down and 15, trailing 18-7. 5 minutes left. Good catch, and then a fumble, and recovered by the Eagles as Ron Smith fumbled and alertly downfield. The recovery made by Mike Quick, the North Carolina State rookie, the #1 draft pick. Now the Eagles, fourth quarter, New England has tied the Browns in Cleveland at 7.
I'm sure that this is 4-down territory and time in the game for Dick Vermeil, so he may want to go for a piece of this and then go for two shots at picking up that 10 yards. Jaworski back in the shotgun. Let's see what they do.
Clock running, 4:37, 4:36 left. 3rd and 9. Intercepted by Lewis Breeden, and he fumbles, and the Eagles recover at the 39-yard line. Breeden made the interception, and then the Eagles recover the fumble, so it'll be first down Philadelphia.
It is a first. Wow, what an interesting way to pick up a first down, Dick.
Breeden's first interception of the year.
Yeah. Watch the change of beautiful steal by Breeden as he strips it out of Carmichael's hands, and then Breeden, trying to keep his balance, lost the football. Alertly jumped on right there, and they pick up the first down.
True to his name, Mike was quick in seeing that loose ball, number 81. And it's a first down Philadelphia on change of possession at the 39. The clock, 4:24 left. Mike Quick caught Ron Smith. And check it, it was Smith who recovered the fumble earlier also. Number 81 Smith did recover the fumble. He gets the reception, hurries to the huddle.
It was Quick that recovered Smith's fumble just before that. That's what we did, Dick.
We've been obviously on a hiatus as well. Down to the 4-minute mark. 48-yard line, first down. The Eagles, trailing 18-0 coming into this fourth quarter, have a touchdown, trying to get within a score of quite a rally. Carmichael, first down at the 34 of Cincinnati. 3:38, 3:37 left.
Need to get it into the
E2 in his great career here in Philadelphia. Clock continues to run, now down to 3:10. Spagnola popped at the 28-yard line by Reggie Williams. Remember, the Eagles had to use one of their timeouts. They'll have a help from the 2-minute warning.
Hank Bulla, the defensive coordinator for the Bengals, obviously stacking his people deep, forcing the Eagles to throw short and then getting a tackle quickly. They won't let them have the big yardage. They want to make them work it down the field, and they're trying to beat them with the clock.
And the fans booing because it's taking the Eagles so long to run the next play. Of course, the layoff, they don't have that 2 or 3 plays at a time in the huddle. Jaworski. Ooh, deflected, downfield, incomplete. Intended for John Spagnuolo. Final score in. The New York Jets blasting Baltimore 37-0. They scored often and early and rolled on to victory. So the Jets are now 2-1. Baltimore 0-3. All the scores, NFL report to follow. And now on 3rd down and 2, Jaworski with time running out on Philadelphia, trailing 18-7 to Cincinnati. Open. Spagnuolo at the 20. No fumble. He was down at the 20. That'll be a first down. Clock is running. 2:14, 2:13. The Eagles have a chance to get away a play before the 2-minute warning. If they can line up. Now time will be called by the official as
We've
one of
got
the
an injured
Bengals,
player.
Louis Breeden, is slow getting up.
Louis Breeden, who was involved in the tackle on Spagnuolo.
Out of your picture to the right, it's a triple left formation. Smith, Carmichael, and Spagnuolo to the left. Going for 6. Just tipped out of the reach of Carmichael by Ray Griffin, number 44, and Ken Riley.
The Rams have fought back to tie Houston with 1.5 minutes left as Frank Corral kicks off to Willie Tullis at the 5. Tullis starts left and stays left. He picks up some blockers and rolls to midfield. With Carter Hartwig fighting Leroy Irvin all the way down the sideline, Tullis goes into the end zone for a 27-20 Oiler victory.
Out of the shotgun, Jaworski, whose passing statistics have improved here in the second half. Screen, and Jamona can't find the handle, and he had a couple of blockers in front. Our thanks to the men in the truck. The coordinating producer of football, Ted Nathanson. Telecast of today's game has been produced by George Finkel, directed by Harry Coyle, technical director Bill Toby, associate director John Libretto. Our thanks to the men in the booth, Jim Gallagher, Mike McKay, Jerry Bruderly, Jerry Quinlan for their help. Record at 2-1. Los Angeles is 0-3. Almost intercepted as overshooting Ron Smith was Jaworski.
Ron Smith stretching for that one as he came across the middle, but unable to get his fingers on it.
Invitation.
Reflecting on the game, I'm sure they're very happy they avoided a shutout. They have threatened here late.
Open is Smith again, and he's down at the 15. That won't be enough for a first down. It'll be 4th down and 5, and the Eagles will hurry to the line of scrimmage as the clock is running, nearing the 1.5 minute mark.
Don't want to make a mistake here, though. You only got 1 down if you don't get the first down.
Jaworski calling out the audible. They need 5 for the first down, but more importantly, a touchdown. There's the first down. Jamona can't get out of bounds, and the clock continues to run. Ball at the 7-yard line. 1st and goal for the Eagles. First and goal. Screen to Jamona, has blockers. He doesn't get in. He stopped at the 1-yard line in the final minute.
Down to 51 seconds, still ticking.
And Jaworski throws that one just to stop the clock. So it'll be 3rd now. 3rd and goal, just inside the 1-yard line. Another final is in. The Cowboys, well, they were stretched by Tampa Bay, and Dallas prevails 14-9 in a tough defensive battle. So the Buccaneers are now 0-3, and the Cowboys 2-1. So it'll be Dallas 2-1, Cleveland 2-1 on Thursday, 3:30 Eastern time for NFL 82 here on NBC.
Louis Giamona, nephew of Dick Vermeil, Utah Stater. Good choice on a school by Giamona, as well as some fine effort here. Dives in from about the 5. He just plants a foot, and it looked again like he caught his toe on that turf. New turf, which is good for the players here, because the old turf here was like concrete. But the stickiness of that turf has shown up on several plays today, including that one.
Back to Giamona and the relationship with Dick Vermeil. Dick's sister's son is Giamona, and Louis, he's named after Dick Vermeil's dad.
Of course, Dick's brother also a fine football player at Utah State, Al Vermeil.
3rd and goal at the 1. 18-7, Cincinnati in. No signal yet. No, they're marking it on the inch line, and the clock continues to run. And it's 4th and goal. Now it's not only the clock, but the down situation that the Eagles.
Down inside 30 seconds, and 4th down. Oops. Offside.
Appeared to charge offside, but may have been drawn. And Leclerc didn't like the way he was handled by Jaworski. Leclerc has about 30 pounds on the Eagle quarterback.
Like a war in there on that play. Leclerc wanting to duke it out with Jaworski. And of course, Jaworski getting that kind of support from Spagnuolo and the rest of his troops. That's one of the things you do. You protect your quarterback at all costs.
Here that Jaworski was trying to say they are offside, and Leclerc kept coming, gave him a little bump, and Jaworski didn't go for that. He stood his ground. How wise that was.
I think we've got a first down, huh?
No, fourth down.
Okay.
Now that's one of the penalties, one of the short ones in the game. That was about a 1-inch penalty. The ball was already tickling the goal line, and it's half the distance on the penalty.
I wonder how they could get a first down out of that. I think they probably would have called offsetting 15-yarders, but not going to change them down here.
Look at that ball.
Nosed up.
Uh-oh, Jaworski has to move Spagnuolo. That's a bad sign. Giamona, touchdown. So the Eagles have their second touchdown in this 4th quarter to cut Cincinnati's lead to 18-13 with 22 seconds left.
Giamona coming to his right side and outside, but just barely making it into the end zone here. He's hit outside and dives across. Just drops that football on the other side of the line. And of course, the big factor now, Dick, is the clock down to 22 seconds. And even if you can get an onside kick, not much time to work with it.
And it takes a touchdown for the Eagles to win, as that makes it 8
for Franklin. Gives him great control over the football. I talked to him
to go 10 yards.
There it is.
And does, and goes out of bounds. And so the Bengals will, if it was touched.
I think it was touched. It appeared it was touched by one of the Bengal players.
Then the ball would be to Cincinnati, where it went out of bounds. If it wasn't touched, then they'll kick it over with a 5-yard penalty.
There is a large discussion going on down there right at the moment. Jerry Markbright trying to find out just exactly what happened.
That's
yes,
what happened.
It was touched.
Touched the Bengal. And it's Cincinnati's ball. No different than if the ball had been kicked deep down the 5-yard line.
The kick was last touched by the receiving team. First down, Cincinnati.
So that does it for Philadelphia. The Bengals can only be stopped once by a timeout. That's all Philadelphia has left. And with 22 seconds remaining, a play, maybe 2, and that'll be it. Losing today, score really not reflective of Cincinnati's play. They are going to win at 18-14. Clock running. Final score, Miami gets a field goal in the 4th quarter to win at Buffalo 9-7. So the Dolphins are 3-0. Buffalo drops to 2-1. And here, final score at Veterans Stadium, and very few of the some 60,000 left to see the last play as the Cincinnati Bengals build up an early 18-0 lead, and then Forrest Gregg's club holds on despite 2 4th quarter touchdowns by Philadelphia. An 18-14 Cincinnati win.
Would appear that certainly to